Warn you, Jack, about a potential and very serious threat to Jabot.
I've stolen Haynes' AI program. I want to make a deal with you. Are you interested?
The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers for Wednesday, October 29th, reveal that Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, and Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas Scott joint LA arrival is coming up. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, will also double down on his Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun plan, so there'll be a lot happening on the CBS soap. First on Wednesday's YNR episode, Kyle will once again pump Sienna for info on Audra Charles's Zuleika Silver past. Although Sienna hinted that she might be willing to help Kyle out, she could easily change her mind and push Kyle to scram. Of course, Kyle has already gotten his hopes up about Sienna giving him some Audra dirt. That's why Kyle will stick with his strategy and put Audra through another grilling session. Will Kyle score the leverage he's seeking or have to leave Los Angeles empty-handed? Regardless, Kyle will ultimately head to the airport following Jack Abbott's Peter Bergman text about needing him home as soon as possible. Next, we should talk about Victoria and Nikki since Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, mentioned that they're headed to LA. Since Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, is comatose and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, is under so much stress, Nikki and Victoria want to offer some support. However, Victoria may have an ulterior motive when it comes to this trip since Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, is in LA as well. Claire is having a great time with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, but Victoria doesn't really trust him and is afraid her daughter might do something impulsive she might regret. That's why it won't be long until Victoria is having a heart-to-heart with Claire at the hotel cafe. It'll give Victoria a chance to seek updates on Claire's time with Holden and where things stand with Kyle now that he's visited her, too. Claire may scold Victoria for giving Kyle her location, but she might also admit she saw Kyle's softer side and is perhaps feeling a bit more torn again. Back in Genoa City, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will work to protect herself. Since Phyllis wants Victor to do her dirty work and then take over Jabot once it's done, she'll do everything in her power to keep that scheme on track. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will take precautions and do whatever it takes to make sure good news is headed her way. The City of Angels offers no peace for the Newman family, while in Genoa City, alliances fracture and desires ignite under the autumnal glare. The fallout from recent betrayals continues to ripple through every corner of society, promising that this Wednesday, October 29th, will be a day of reckoning, desperate gambits, and shocking confessions. Scene: a luxurious hotel suite, Los Angeles. The Pacific Ocean glimmers under the harsh California sun, a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside a penthouse suite at the Beverly Hilton. Victoria Newman, having just arrived from her late-night flight, stands at the floor-to-ceiling window, her posture rigid. She's a queen surveying a kingdom she did not choose, her reflection a mask of simmering fury and profound hurt. Behind her, Nikki Newman, having poured 2 glasses of water from a crystal carafe, lets out a weary sigh. The flight was silent, tense, the weight of Jordan's taunts and Victor's monumental secret hanging between them like a shroud. He didn't just lie about a business deal, Mother, Victoria states, her voice dangerously low. She doesn't turn around, her gaze fixed on the distant Hollywood sign. He lied about my child. He looked me in the eye for months, watched me grieve, watched me fall apart, and he knew. He knew Claire was alive. Nikki takes a delicate sip of water, her hand trembling slightly. Your father's methods are extreme. They always have been. But Victoria, you must see the position he was in. Jordan is a viper. He believed he was protecting Claire from a lifetime of her mother's poison. Victoria spins around, her eyes blazing. He was protecting his own ego, his own godlike complex to control every single life that touches his. He made a decision about my daughter that was never his to make. And for what? So she could be raised by a psychotic aunt, only to be used as a pawn in a revenge plot against us years later? His plan failed, Mother. Miserably. And Claire is safe now, Nikki insists, moving to stand beside her daughter. She's in Genoa City. She's getting the help she needs, and she wants a relationship with us. Can't we focus on that miracle? The miracle is tainted, Nikki. It's built on a foundation of my father's deceit. Victoria finally picks up her glass, her knuckles white. I will see Claire. I will try to build something with her. But I will never, ever forgive him for this. This is the final line. He has crossed it one too many times. Nikki's face softens with a pain she knows all too well. The cycle of Victor's betrayals and the family's eventual, weary forgiveness is the defining rhythm of their lives. But she sees something new in Victoria's eyes, a finality, a breaking point that perhaps even she, Nikki, has never reached. What are you going to do? Nikki asks, her voice barely a whisper. A cold, calculated smile touches Victoria's lips. I'm going to do what Newmans do best. I'm going to ensure that my father never has the power to hurt me or my children ever again. It's time for a new regime at Newman Enterprises. The scene is set for a corporate war that could dwarf any they have faced before, with a daughter's broken heart as the catalyst. Scene: the Grand Phoenix Hotel, Kyle's office. Back in Genoa City, the air in Kyle Abbott's office is thick with unspoken tension and the scent of expensive aftershave. Kyle, dressed in a sharp, modern suit that screams new direction, leans against his desk, arms crossed. Opposite him, Audra Charles looks like the cat that got the canary, a satisfied smirk playing on her lips. So, you've officially doubled down on the Sienna project, Audra states, more than asks. Pulling resources from the established legacy lines to fund a complete rebrand. It's a bold move. Some might say a reckless one. It's a necessary one, Kyle counters, his gaze steady. Jabot is drowning in its own nostalgia. Beauty with a conscience is a fantastic slogan, but it doesn't capture the modern market. Sienna is bold, it's provocative, it's digital first. It's the future. And it's your ticket to finally stepping out of your father's shadow, Audra adds, hitting the nail directly on the head. She walks over, straightening his tie with an intimate familiarity that suggests their alliance has deepened into something more. Jack won't see this as innovation. He'll see it as an insult, a rejection of everything he and your grandfather built. Let him, Kyle says, a defiant glint in his eye. He handed me the reins. If he didn't want me to steer the ship in a new direction, he should have kept it docked. I'm not just a custodian of the Abbott legacy, Audra. I'm its architect for the next generation. Their moment is interrupted by a sharp knock. Before Kyle can answer, the door swings open to reveal a furious Diane Jenkins Abbott. Her usually impeccable composure is cracked, her eyes flashing with maternal disappointment. Kyle, we need to talk. Now, Diane says, her voice icy. She barely spares a glance for Audra, who simply raises an eyebrow and moves to the sidebar to pour herself a drink, thoroughly enjoying the drama. Mother, this isn't a good time, Kyle says, pushing off the desk. I just left your father. He's devastated. To hear from Tucker McCall, of all people, that my own son is systematically dismantling the heart of Jabot. Diane steps closer. What are you thinking? This Sienna obsession, it's not just business, is it? Kyle's jaw tightens. It's entirely business. The best business decision for this company. Don't lie to me, Diane fires back. I see the way you look at her. She gestures dismissively toward Audra, who takes a slow sip of whiskey, unfazed. Is this about proving something to her? Or is it about getting back at Summer for moving on? The mention of his ex-wife hits its mark. Kyle's cool facade falters for a split second. Summer has nothing to do with this. Doesn't she? Diane presses. You see her with Chance, building a new life, and you're desperate to prove you're not just Jack Abbott's son. You're a titan in your own right. But Kyle, this path you're on, it's going to cost you your family. Is Audra and this fragrance really worth that? Kyle looks from his mother's worried face to Audra's challenging smirk. In that moment, he doesn't see a choice between right and wrong, but a choice between the past and the future. He makes his decision. The board meeting is tomorrow, Mother. The vote will go forward. I suggest you and Dad get on board because Sienna is the new face of Jabot. His voice is cold, final. Diane stares at her son, seeing a stranger where her little boy once stood. Without another word, she turns and leaves, the slam of the door echoing like a gunshot. Audra smiles, a genuine, triumphant smile. Well, now the real fun begins. Scene: Chancellor Park, a tense encounter. Under the golden brown canopy of falling leaves, Chancellor pushes a swing where a laughing Harrison Locke sits. The scene is one of domestic bliss, a stark contrast to the corporate and familial battles raging elsewhere. Summer Newman, watching them from a nearby bench, smiles, but it doesn't quite reach her eyes. Her phone buzzes for the 10th time. It's a message from Kyle's assistant, confirming the Jabot board meeting. She sighs, her thoughts a tangled mess of concern for the company her mother once ran and a lingering, painful ache for the man she once thought she'd spend her life with. Trouble in Paradise, a smooth voice asks. Summer looks up to see Adam Newman, of all people, standing by her bench, hands in the pockets of his leather jacket. He offers a wry, knowing smile. "Adam, what are you doing here?" Summer asks, guarded. "Enjoying the last of the good weather before Wisconsin winter descends," he says, his gaze drifting toward Chance and Harrison. "He's good with him." "He is," Summer agrees, her defenses softening slightly. "He's a good man. Unlike some," Adam hints, nodding subtly in the general direction of the Jabot building. "I hear my nephew is causing quite the stir, trying to rebrand Jabot as a late-night cable channel, from what Tucker tells me." Despite herself, Summer lets out a small laugh. It's a new fragrance line, but the way people are reacting, you'd think it was exactly that. She hesitates. "He's making a mistake, Adam. He's being influenced by the wrong people." "Audra Charles is a force of nature, I'll give her that," Adam muses. "She smells blood in the water at Jabot, and she's found a willing shark in Kyle. But you're not here to talk about Kyle's business ventures, are you? You're worried you made the wrong choice." Summer looks at him, startled. "What? No." "I love Chance." "I believe you," Adam says, his tone surprisingly sincere for once. "But you can love the safe harbor and still miss the thrill of the storm. Kyle was your storm, and watching him self-destruct from a distance, it's hard, even when you know you're better off on dry land." Summer is silent, Adam's words striking a chord she didn't want to acknowledge. She watches Harrison run into Chance's arms, and her heart swells with love for the simple, honest life they are building. But a part of her, a part she's ashamed of, is still tied to the chaotic, passionate drama that is Kyle Abbott. "He's going to get himself fired, or worse, disowned," she whispers. Adam gives a characteristic half-shrug. "Sometimes, a man needs to burn his whole world down to see who's left standing in the ashes. It's a lesson I'm intimately familiar with." He gives her a final, lingering look. "Be careful, Summer. The ashes have a way of blowing back on everyone nearby." He walks away, leaving Summer with a new set of fears and the unsettling feeling that the past is far from finished with her. Scene: the Newman Ranch, a lonely monarch. Meanwhile, at the sprawling Newman Ranch, Victor sits alone in his study. The massive desk, usually a symbol of his immense power, feels like a prison. The house is silent, the absence of Nikki and Victoria a palpable, crushing weight. He stares at a faded, old photograph on his desk, a picture of a much younger him, with Nikki, Victoria, and Nicholas. A family, whole and happy, or so he had believed. A soft knock at the door breaks his reverie. "Come in," he barams. The door opens to reveal Cole Howard, looking hesitant but determined. "Victor, I heard Nikki and Victoria went to LA." Victor's eyes narrow. "Your point, Cole?" "My point is that my daughter is at the center of this hurricane you've created," Cole says, his voice gaining strength. "I'm not here to rehash your sins, Victor. I'm here for Claire. She's fragile. She's finally starting to trust us, to believe she has a family. The last thing she needs is to be caught in the crossfire of another Newman civil war." Victor leans back, steepling his fingers. "I have always acted in the best interests of my family. Have you?" Cole challenges, a rare show of bravery in the lion's den. Or have you acted in the best interests of your own control? You kept Victoria's child a secret. You created this entire mess. Now, I'm asking you, as Claire's father, to step back. Let Victoria and Nikki heal this. Stay out of it. For a long moment, Victor says nothing. He simply studies Cole, this man who has been both an enemy and an ally, now united with him by a granddaughter. The isolation in the room is suffocating. Claire is my granddaughter, Victor finally says, his voice low and gravelly, stripped of its usual command. It is the voice of a tired, old man. I will do what is necessary to protect her. Protecting her means letting her mother in, Cole insists. Without your interference. Victor's gaze returns to the photograph. He gives a single, almost imperceptible nod. It is not a surrender, but a tactical retreat. He knows the battle with his daughter is coming, and it will be the war of his life. But for the first time, he seems to be questioning if he has the strength or the will to fight it. As Wednesday, October 29th, draws to a close in Genoa City and Los Angeles, the pieces are in motion for an explosive upheaval. Victoria prepares to siege her father's throne. Kyle willingly burns his familial bridges for a new, dangerous alliance. Summer is torn between her peaceful present and her turbulent past, and Victor, the mighty king, sits alone in his castle, wondering if his reign and his family has finally slipped through his fingers. The Young and the Restless, YNR, recap for Tuesday, October 28th, indicates that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, Jabot takeover plot will be revealed. Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn will also get some spy intel. So, let's discuss all the drama happening in Tuesday's YNR episode. At the GCAC, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, will push Billy Abbott's, Jason Thompson, buttons about the failed Abbott Communications launch party and the fact that Adam will also get under Billy's skin by suggesting he should leave the country and create his own version of Aristotle Dumas. Billy will get especially agitated when Adam throws Jill Abbott's, Jess Walton, betrayal in his face. By the time Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan's, walks in, Billy will deck Adam and leave him with a busted lip. Chelsea will scold Billy and play referee until Billy ultimately takes off. After Chelsea tells Adam that Billy was in the wrong, he'll appreciate her taking his side. However, Adam will show some growth and admit he deserved to get decked since he was provoking Billy. At the Newman Ranch, Phyllis will tell Victor Newman, Eric Braden, that she stole Kane's AI program and wants to make a deal if he's interested. Victor will wonder why he should trust Phyllis and will wonder if she's playing a game for Kane. Phyllis will prove she's in possession of the program by pulling it up on her laptop and making Jabot the program's target. Victor will wonder what's in it for Phyllis if she gives him control of this program, so she'll spell out her terms off-screen and strike the deal. Afterward, Victor will summon Adam to the Newman Ranch, so Adam will bring Chelsea along and insist she should be part of this meeting. Victor will allow it, but he'll make it clear that everything needs to stay hush-hush. After Victor offers updates on Phyllis's visit and her software theft, he'll explain that she's willing to hand over the AI program on one condition. As soon as I have wrested control of Jabot from Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, we hand it over to Phyllis, Victor will say on Tuesday's YNR episode. At the Abbott mansion, Kane will tell Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, that his AI program was stolen. Since Diane and Jack will be shocked, Kane will realize they had nothing to do with the theft. Jack will wonder if he came there to warn them or accuse them, but Kane will act like he simply had to be certain the Abbotts weren't to blame. Kane will confess that he suspects Victor is behind this, but Jack and Diane will also consider Phyllis's potential involvement. Regardless, Jack and Diane will worry about Victor targeting Jabot. If Jabot goes down in flames, then Jack will warn Kane's going down. 2. Once Kane exits, Diane and Jack will discuss beefing up cybersecurity even more and making sure any sensitive data is offline. Since the Abbotts need all hands on deck, Jack will text Kyle that they need him home ASAP, though he won't offer any details just yet. Diane and Jack will agree about the importance of keeping Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, out of the loop. Jack will also decide that if Phyllis is involved, and he'll bet she is, they need to deal with her. Moments later, Jack will get Billy on the phone and ask him to come to the Abbott house right now. Back at the GCAC, Kane will order a drink at the bar and get a text from the spy who's been watching Phyllis. Once Kane learns Phyllis just left the Newman ranch, she'll pop up and join him at the bar. Kane will call Phyllis out on her meeting with Victor, but she'll act like she was just there to suss him out. Phyllis will assure Kane that Victor was behind the program theft and that he's going to turn the tables to go after Arabesque. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kane will have to decide what he believes, so stay tuned for any other tricky news he might face. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Lily Winters may not be interested in having any more children. However, the actress who plays the character, Crystal Khalil, is currently expecting her third baby. Thanks to a social media post released by the CBS soap on Monday, October 27th, the proverbial cat is out of the bag. It seems like Khalil and her husband, Sam Restagno, are gearing up to welcome another baby into this world, and there were some who had been suspecting this for some time now. The Young and the Restless shared this cute video on Instagram of the cast and crew dancing to Michael Jackson's Thriller. It was a fun way to wish their viewers a happy Halloween. Some Y&R stars featured in the video, along with Khalil, were Amelia Heinle, Victoria Newman, Melissa Ordway, Abby Winters, Brighton James, Devin Hamilton Winters, Jason Thompson, Billy Abbott, Courtney Hope, Sally Spectra, and the mustache himself, Eric Braeden, Victor Newman, among others. Khalil was having the time of her life, shaking her stuff and showing off a pretty big baby bump. It's no surprise Khalil hasn't gone public yet, despite her growing belly. After all, she's a pretty private person, and with her last baby, she didn't exactly announce things until she was in her later months of pregnancy. As Lily has been shown with the camera panning above her waist, wearing loose clothes and a purse always hiding her midsection, all the telltale signs that an actress is expecting, rumors began to buzz on social media from fans. Khalil and Restagno were introduced in 2016 and eventually took their romance public in 2018. The lovebirds were engaged in 2022 and said their I-dos in Italy in the fall of 2024. Khalil has a 15-year-old son from a previous marriage to musician Stephen Hensley. Meanwhile, her second son, her first child with Restagno, is 2 years old and was born in 2023. On behalf of everyone here, we extend our well wishes to Khalil and her hubby, Restagno, on their growing family. The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Lily will need to head out of Genoa City soon, as Khalil will need to take maternity leave at some point in the weeks ahead. So what kind of drama will hit the fan to cause the character's temporary exit?